Do you know who you really are? I don't mean your job title, your name, or the roles you play in life. I mean you, your essence, the deeper patterns that shape the way you think, feel, and move through the world. For thousands of years, humans have turned to systems like numerology and astrology, both Western and Chinese, not just to predict the future, but as mirrors, as ways of asking things like, who am I? Really? What are my strengths? What are my challenges? And what is my path? Now, whether you believe in these systems literally or you just see them as symbolic, the real magic is that they force you to stop and reflect, to get introspective, to ask questions that you might otherwise never ask yourself. And that's what we're diving into today. What is numerology, Western astrology, and Chinese astrology? And how can they help you learn more about yourself? Now, this video is literally only scratching the surface on each of these topics. So if you enjoy this video and you want me to dive deeper, then make sure to let me know in the comment section below. As we go through this, I will also share how in our Skool community, we also go through these topics. Not from a place of blind belief, but from curiosity, reflection, and growth. Numerology. It's one of the simplest ways to get started in exploring who you really are. It's based on the idea that numbers carry energy, frequency, and meaning. The most important number is your life path number, and you calculate this from your date of birth. Think of this as like your soul's curriculum, the lessons you're here to learn, and the themes you'll keep bumping into until you master them. Right, so let's take an example. Imagine you're born on the 22nd of June 1989, like I am. Here's how you'd calculate your life path number. So you add the digits up together. So you add 2 plus 2 plus 6 plus 1. You get the gist. So it adds up to 37. Then you need to reduce it down to a single digit between 1 and 9, unless it adds up to an 11, 22, or 33, as they are master numbers. So in this example, 3 plus 7 is 10. 10 reduced down is 1. So this person's life path is life path 1. Now here's where people get it wrong. Now, just briefly, life path 1 is about leadership. And just because you're a life path 1, for example, doesn't mean you're a natural born leader. You're here to learn that. Life path numbers aren't about your fixed personality. They're about your journey. So for a 1, as I mentioned, the lessons are about leadership, independence, and originality. Life will keep putting you into situations where it asks you to step up, take the initiative, and trust yourself. And sometimes the challenges are about dependency, self-doubt, or waiting for others to take the lead. So, see the difference? It's not you're a natural born leader, it's you're here to learn leadership. And this applies to every number. A life path 3 isn't automatically joyful and expressive. They're here to learn how to use their creativity, their voice, and their optimism in a way that both uplifts themselves and others. Early challenges for 3s are often around self-doubt, feeling misunderstood, or holding back their true expression. A life path 6 isn't instantly nurturing and responsible. They're here to learn how to balance care for others with care for themselves. Their lessons often involve family, service, and learn not to lose their identity in the process of helping. And finally, a life path 8 isn't automatically powerful and rich. They're here to master lessons around money, responsibility, and integrity in success. So when you calculate your number, think of it as a growth path and not a label. But here's something else people often miss. The day you were born also carries a powerful energy. In our example, being born on the 22nd means you carry the vibration of 22, which in numerology is a master number, the master builder. Even if your life path reduces down to a 1, that 22 still whispers in the background, giving you an underlying energy of vision, creativity, and the potential to build something lasting. So the day number acts as a secondary influence. It flavors your life path. Even though the life path is the lesson plan, the day you're born gives you a kind of personal gift or imprint you naturally carry. So together, the life path number and the day number create a fuller picture. It's almost like your lesson plan and your personal gift rolled into one. And here's something fascinating to leave you with. Numbers show up not only in your personal chart, but in the world around us. Take the 28, for example. It's considered the number of money and wealth in numerology. That's why brands and people of influence often align to it. Rolex almost always show the date on their watches as the 28th. And if you look at some of the wealthiest individuals on this planet, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, both born on the 28th. And even Apple, one of the wealthiest companies on the planet, was founded under 28 energy. Coincidence? Maybe. But when you start to notice patterns like this, it's quite hard to ignore. Numbers carry energy, and wealth numbers like 8 and 28 seem to consistently align with success. Okay, so this section is more than long enough now, but we've literally just scratched the surface with numerology. Right, so if numerology is like looking at your DNA through numbers, Western astrology is like looking at your personal sky map at the moment you were born. So most people only know their sun signs. So I'm a Cancer, I'm a Capricorn, I'm a Leo. But Western astrology goes far deeper than that. When you're born, the planets were all in specific positions, and the chart, called your natal chart or your birth chart, is like the cosmic fingerprint, and it's unique to you. Right, so the big three that most people look at are your sun sign, your core essence, your identity, and your conscious self. Your moon sign, your emotions, your instinct, and your inner world. And your rising sign or ascendant, how you appear to others, your outward style and approach. But it doesn't stop there. Each planet represents a different part of you. Mercury is your mind and communication. Venus is love, beauty and relationships. Mars is drive, passion and action. Jupiter is growth, wisdom and expansion. Saturn is lessons, discipline and responsibility. Pluto is transformation, power and rebirth. And then there are the 12 houses in astrology. If the planets show what energy is at play, the houses show where that energy plays out in your life. Think of the chart like a wheel divided into 12 sections, each one representing a different area of your life. Right, so here's an easy way to picture it. The planets are like the actors in a play, each with a role and personality. The signs are the costumes that they're wearing, how the energy expresses itself, and the houses are the stage in which they're performing on, the area of life where the action takes place. So if Mars, the actor of passion and drive, is dressed in Leo, a costume of creativity and boldness, and standing on the 10th house stage, career and reputation, you'd likely see someone who pours their fiery energy into building a public legacy. That's why your chart can feel so layered. It's not just about being in Cancer or being in Gemini. It's about the actors, the costumes, and the stages all interacting to tell your story. When you start to explore your chart, it can feel very overwhelming. But here's the thing, the goal isn't to memorize every placement, it's to use it as a mirror. So astrology says, here are some potential tendencies that you may have. And whether you agree or disagree, the reflection itself is the value. For example, your chart might say that you tend to avoid conflict. That might be true. And if it is, you've gained an awareness of something that might be holding you back. Or maybe it's not true and you realize, no, I face conflict head on. Either way, you've learned something new about yourself, or you've confirmed something that you already know. And again, this is what we do inside our Skool community. We use astrology not as a fortune telling, but as a personal development tool, a way to go deeper into who you are and how you move through the world. Now let's move to the East. Chinese astrology is structured very differently to Western astrology. It's based on the year of your birth, according to the Chinese lunar calendar. The system cycles every 12 years, with each year assigned one of 12 animals. We've got the rat, ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, goat, monkey, rooster, dog, and pig. But it's not just the animal. Each year also carries an element: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. This creates a 60-year cycle where each combination is unique. For example, someone might be a wood dragon or a metal ox. Each animal has its own unique qualities. The rat is clever, adaptable, quick thinking. The ox is dependable, hardworking, and grounded. The tiger is bold, adventurous, and brave. A rabbit is gentle, artistic, and compassionate. The dragon is powerful, charismatic, and visionary. The snake is wise, intuitive, and strategic. The horse is energetic, freedom-loving, and sociable. The goat is gentle, nurturing, and creative. The monkey is witty, inventive, and curious. The rooster is confident, precise, and detail-orientated. The dog is loyal, protective, and justice-driven. The pig is generous, easygoing, and sincere. Then the element modifies the animal. For example, a fire tiger is more explosive and dynamic than a water tiger, who is calmer and more intuitive. But here's where Chinese astrology becomes even more interesting. It's not just about your year in isolation. It's about the relationships between all of the animals, friend and enemy energies. Every sign has natural allies and natural challenges. For example, the snake is naturally harmonious with the ox and the rooster. These signs understand each other's energy and often form strong partnerships. But the snake's natural enemy is the pig, which means this pairing can bring tension, misunderstandings, or friction. And this dynamic exists across the whole zodiac. Some animals are natural trines of harmony, groups of 3 friends, while others are opposites, creating tension but also opportunities for growth. So the 4 trines are the rat, dragon, and monkey, the ox, snake, and rooster, the tiger, horse, and dog, the rabbit, goat, and pig. And if you fall within a trine, you'll likely find that you'll just click with the other signs. With your enemy sign, life may throw lessons your way through those people, or during those enemy years. So this also applies when it comes to years. Every 12 years, your own sign year comes back around. But this isn't always the lucky year that people think it will be. In fact, your own year, known as Ben Min Yang, is traditionally seen as a time of testing. The belief is that during your own year, challenges arise to push yourself towards growth and self-awareness. Similarly, in your enemy year, when the year is ruled by your opposing sign, you might face more friction, setbacks, and conflicts. But again, that doesn't mean disaster. It means that those are the years that life is likely to put obstacles in your path as a way of sharpening you, refining you, and to help you evolve. What makes Chinese astrology so powerful is the sense of interconnectedness. It's not just I'm a dragon or I am a goat. It's like, how do I interact with other signs? What years flow smoothly for me and which ones push me into challenge? How do the elements modify the patterns of my life? It's less about prediction and more about rhythm. Recognizing the seasons of your life, when to push forward, when to reflect, when to collaborate, and when to be patient. And again, whether you believe in it literally or not, gives you a story, a narrative, a way on reflecting on your qualities, your challenges, and how you interact with others. Inside Skool, we often take these ideas and ask, what resonates with you? What does this say about how you handle challenges? How do you love? How do you lead? Because the more perspectives you explore, the more complete your self-understanding becomes. So, what happens when you combine all 3, numerology, Western astrology, and Chinese astrology? You get a multi-dimensional mirror. Numerology gives you a sense of the core lessons and themes throughout your life. Western astrology shows you the unique psychological makeup of your personality. And Chinese astrology places you in a bigger cycle, connecting you with nature and collective rhythms. And remember, these are not fixed truths. They're ways of sparking self-reflection, because none of us were handed a manual for being humans. We're all trying to figure out who we are, what we're here to do, and how to grow into the best versions of ourselves. And that's why exploring these systems can be so powerful. They give you the frameworks, languages, and archetypes to play with. They give you a way of saying, who am I really? And who do I want to become? And they can also help you to better understand others too. So if this resonated with you and you want to go deeper into numerology and astrology, manifesting, mindset, business and personal growth, then join our Skool community. We're here to upgrade your mindset, build unstoppable habits, and take consistent action. Whether your goals are in business, property, career, health or relationships, the foundation is the same. Clarity, confidence, and accountability, so you never drift or quit. And with our mentoring, you won't just know what to do, you'll follow through, build momentum, and see results. Ready to get off autopilot and grow with us? Click the link in the description to join. So I'll leave you with this question. Do you really know who you are? The numbers, the stars, the animals, they all offer clues, but ultimately, the answer lies within you. These tools are just mirrors. The real journey is the one you take inward. And when you walk the path consciously, everything in your life, your relationships, your work, your happiness, starts to align in ways you couldn't even imagine. So, are you ready to look in the mirror? If you are, join our Skool community and let's dive deeper together.